Should you have a formula for creating marketing programs? But the long version on Facebook right now, this one from Mallory. She's saying, hello, I own my small business that targets a younger demographic, 21 to 25, and I'd love to get your thoughts on ways I can utilize social media to attract this group without being overly in their face. How much is too much, and which vein of social media is my best bet? So, Chris, I'm going to hand that one to you right now.
You don't want to, it was almost like what Karen and I were talking about a little bit, or what she started to talk about, all those different channels she needs. I mean, you can't just do social media. You need to think about good keywords, an optimized website. You need to think about search efforts. You need to think about email marketing. If you do social media and you don't consider email marketing part of social media, then what are you doing? You're just tweeting and hoping for buyers. It's not going to be good for you. So you really need to embrace, even if you're stuck in the online-only space for a while, you need to embrace a lot of that. I would say that there's a value to thinking offline, and even maybe doing some postcards. Even if you don't mail the postcards, there's some ways to kind of get some physical play out of that. So I think, no, I mean, I wouldn't say just stick to social media. I would say that you've really got to have maybe 3 to 5 tools to hit. I'm going to go to Karen, and then I'm going to see what Joe says about that.
Sure. Let me tackle this, because when we started with social media, I think we went about it all wrong, because we tried to use social media to sell. So there was a lot of promotion of, hey, we've got a great discount. Hey, come buy from us. Come buy from us. And people are not on social media looking to buy. They're looking to be helped, to be engaged. As you talked about in the video content at the beginning of this whole program, you got to be helpful. You got to be funny. You got to be relevant. They're not there to take advantage of a discount offer. So if you're going to use social media, really be helpful, be relevant, be meaningful to them, but use it as a way to create awareness of your brand, and not necessarily as a way to promote and push a specific product or service. That will come because people are familiar with you, because you've helped them in social media. But using social media as a pure advertising technique, I think is kind of a prescription for failure. That's not what people want social media for.
I am extremely uniquely suited to answer this question for you, Mallory, because I was under some impression that you could actually use social media as the primary driver of growth. And I think what I'm feeling now is that social media's primary use is to remain connected to your customers and continue to build that relationship. While it might be a great way to demonstrate your ability to serve your customers, it isn't an acquisition tool. It's more of a relationship tool, at least in my experience, and I think we've talked enough about relationships and conversation around social media. But the reason that I shaped the question the way that I did, and I want to cover 3 pieces here for her. Our friend Mitch Joel talks about with and not instead of all of the time. Making the mistake of going down one path to market your business is a huge mistake. Being where your customers are, Karen just said that a minute ago, Chris says it almost every week. Clearly, understanding where your prospective customer is and advertising in that area clearly is a solid plan. But also, the reason I brought up the formula, because what I got out of her question had to do was age specific. And I was curious how many people watching and listening had a formula that they used no matter what their demographic looked like. Okay, we're going to design this product for 27-year-olds, and we're going to apply this formula that we've always used, which includes search engine marketing and email marketing and social media. It's a huge package that is successful for your business, and you figure out what parts are successful for it, and then you simply keep applying it to the different demographic segments that you could. That's what I was trying to ask. And it's taken us, it's got a long way to get there. But what do you think, Karen, Chris, does that make sense? Have a formula, then apply it where it belongs?
Chris Penn just answered back. Sometimes you have a recipe, sometimes no. And, I'm sorry that's such a either or kind of answer, but I think there is something to having a formula. I think that you have to really decide if, how your formula applies to different landscapes. I mean, how you would act in a city is different than how you'd act in the country. And I think this is sort of true of that.
I think there's a formula for the basics of the plan. Who is my customer? Where are they? What are they gonna, what do they value, and what are they gonna buy from me? What's our value proposition? How much do I want to spend to acquire them? And then the tactics, the promotion piece of how you go get them, that's going to vary by business. So there's a common set of things you have to do in terms of the analytics around the size of your market and your value proposition, but the tactics really will vary depending on whether you've got 100,000 target customers or 200 million target customers. So, 200 million requires a whole different set of tactics than 100,000 very targeted people that you know how to get to.
I don't know if one person has ever gotten a more complete answer to their question in in the existence of Question of the Week. So thank you both.